Hello there. My name is Mackenzie. Welcome back to my channel, and thank you so much for being here. Today we are doing my top 10 books of 2021. So 2021 was a pretty great reading year. Most of my books were 4-star or above anyway, so it was kind of down to the maths and the feels. Okay? For those of you who don't know, I rate my books on the Copile rating system that is created by G at Book Roast. I'll link her video down below so that way you can go and check it out. It's all I use anymore to rate my books. So that's where the maths came in, and then from the heart, from how I felt. So let's start with getting them in order. So let's start with number 10, which is Gods of Jade and Shadow by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This book was so surprising. I picked this book up honestly just for the hell of it. It looked fun, it looked interesting, seemed fantastical. Then I read the back and it's a young woman and a Mayan death god, and I stopped reading the summary there every single time because that's all I needed. It was such an interesting book, and then I read it and I was just literally blown away by what was happening. I could not understand how any one person thought of this story. It was so interesting. It was so sad. It was heartbreaking and tragic, and the love story, and the words, I have none. Absolutely no words for how amazing this was. Absolutely beautiful. So we do follow Cassiopeia, and she is like the Cinderella of her family household. They don't treat her very well, and she finds the bones of a Mayan death god in her grandpa's trunk, and she like unleashes him, and he's like, amazing, I need the rest of my body parts. Yeah. To get freedom, so will you help me? And she's like, you know what, sure, why not? And so it's like her, and then it's her evil cousin who are like coming after her with her Mayan death god's brother. So it's like the two death gods have each chosen a cousin to like fight for them. Stop. It was so good. I cannot believe I've never heard not a single person talk about this before. This was so good. Number 10. Number 9 is Heartstopper Volume 2. This one, so what I've done with this list, I have allowed each book in a series to take up its own place, because after reading a few different series, I finished 10 series in the year of 2021, which is a lot. But now I've come to realize that each book stands on its own individually and can be better or worse than its counterparts, and not every series is more than the sum of its parts, if you know what I mean. So Heartstopper Volume 2 is number 9. This one was such an absolute delight. Not like any of the Heartstoppers are not a delight, but this is the aftermath of Nick and Charlie's first kiss. This is Nick understanding that he's bisexual. This is Nick and Charlie meeting each other's friends and it being very emotional, and it heals my soul. Like, there's so much happy, good, sweet cinnamon roll. Like, I can't get over how cute this is. Also, this is like the angst and the pining and all of their friends. They're so sweet. I love the friend group, and I love Nick and Charlie, which almost never happens. If I like a character, I don't like their friend, or if I like all the characters, I don't like, or if I like all the friends, I don't like the main characters. A lot can go wrong, but every single character is sweet and honest and pure and lovely, and I just dying over it. Number 9. Number 8. Ice Planet Barbarians by Ruby Dixon. This one was a rough one. This is the first one in the series. I would say like the first 20 pages are awful. Trigger warnings. There's a lot of sexual assault. It's not fun. It's gross. But after that, it's amazing. I really enjoyed this one because there was so much more world building than I even expected there to be. I was kind of surprised. I was really surprised. This was so interesting, and I really kind of enjoyed the ride. And also, like, isn't that what man first dreamed upon when he looked upon the stars, is to have sex with blue aliens? Women have the same dream, and like, this was just a whole new world. Don't come for me, Disney. I'm stopping. But this was really good, really enjoyable. I loved this. And also, Georgie and Vectel are kind of my, like, favorite couple. I've only read the first two, but so far, Georgie and Vectel are my favorite. Number 8. Oh, this is spicy, steamy. It's really just, like, a smut novella. So, like, I'm not recommending it to you if that's not your thing. I'm just saying where it is on my list. Coming in at number 7 is The Kingdom of Copper by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the second in the Daevabad trilogy. I did like it the least, I think, out of all 3 of the books. However, that doesn't mean that I didn't like it, because I absolutely loved it. I will never get over this series for, like, literally shredding my heart to pieces. Like, I can't. So in this book, everything really hits a climax. Everybody's in danger. Everybody's separated. In the series, we follow Nahri, Dara, and Ali, and all of them are political players in this kingdom of Daevabad. They all come from different backgrounds. They're all different people. And, like, I was having, like, panic attacks, and I was stressed out. My characters, these babies, I couldn't handle it. And, like, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. The political intrigue is at an all-time high in this book, and that's something that I very much enjoy. Not to mention the fact that this world felt so absolutely real that I was nervous for people who don't exist. This one was number 7. Coming in at number 6, possibly at no surprise, is The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty. I enjoyed this more. This is probably the one that breaks my heart the least. Can I say that? I can say that. In this one, we start with Nahri and Dara is taking Nahri to Daevabad. And, like, the whole first part of this book is, like, them getting to know each other and falling in love, and then they get to Daevabad and everything goes downhill. And, like, this book had a lot of, like, this whole trilogy, but, like, this one specifically has a lot to do with, like, challenging your preconceived notions about somebody else and the stereotypes you believe in, and about faiths and about different people, and really just trying to open yourself up to, like, your heritage and understanding other people. And, like, then there was Dara and Nahri, who were, like, oh my god, like, if things could have been different, but this book is, like, the definitive, like, what could have been and what never will be. And I'm getting emotional again just talking to you guys about it. Number 6. Coming in at number 5, Heartstopper Volume 3, I almost said 5, by Alice Oseman. This one, so cute. Okay, so Nick and Charlie are, like, officially out and together, and they let everybody know, and they have this sweet little Paris squad friend group, and they're on a trip to Paris, which was super cute and super sweet. I really enjoyed getting to know more of these characters, and we get to see the teachers falling in love. We get to see a lot more of, like, the family dynamic that Nick has with his parents, and we're seeing more about the issues that Charlie has with a possible eating disorder, and it's so honest and real about how, especially as a teenager, getting together isn't necessarily the hardest part. It's almost the easiest part, especially when you both love each other. And, like, that's where we're ending here, is just we're kind of realizing that it takes more to stay together because you care so much for someone and you're trying to be good for them and good for you, and it's so good. Number 5. Number 4. This one surprised me. I freaking loved this book. Okay, this is Near the Bone by Christina Henry. This book is, like, suspense, a little bit of horror, and then all of a sudden it turns into a slasher book. There's, like, a monster, a real monster, and a figurative monster, and, like, I don't want to say anything else because, like, nothing is too mysterious to where, like, you're not supposed to know what's going on most of the time. A lot of it is, like, dramatic irony where we're following a character who doesn't really understand what's happening, but you as the reader understand. Not to mention that this, like, it just takes a turn and it pulls no punches, And it was so crazy. Like, I just did not expect it to go the way it did. And it went there. I wish this was a movie. I've never said that about anything, but this was so perfectly suspenseful and horrific at the right moments that, like, with a good director, I feel like it could come out like a masterpiece. I didn't read this in the winter. I almost wish that I did, but I couldn't wait to read it. I believe this was one of my anticipated releases for 2021, and it was so good. So good. Oh my god. Number 4. Number 3, probably no surprise at all, is The Empire of Gold by S.A. Chakraborty. This is the third in the Daevabad trilogy. This one, it definitively shredded my heart to pieces and then put a band-aid on it and was like, hope. I was destroyed. Devastated. I cared about characters in this book that I didn't care about at all throughout the rest of the trilogy. Things were so awful. There were multiple times while reading this book where I was like, I don't think anyone is gonna be okay after this. This book pulls no punches. I cried a lot. There was a lot of tragedy. Like, you know how everyone got like all like emotional about the Poppy War and how like tragic that book was? Just because Daevabad is not based on something real doesn't mean that it doesn't have the exact amount of tragedy for me. It's horrible. There's like people are taken as like against their will to be slaves. Like, not only are horrible things happening to people like citizens, the people who are doing those horrible things have been taken as slaves. Like, I'll never get over this series. It definitively broke my heart. I can't feel better about it. I can't feel better, be better. This hurts. It hurts. Number 3. All right. Top 2. Number 2 is Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Oh my goodness. I didn't know what to expect. Honestly, I thought you guys all overhyped this book. I really did. Even after knowing that I liked Silvia Moreno Garcia as an author, I really was not planning on picking up this book because of how overhyped I thought you guys were making it out to be. It is not. Perfect amount of hype. It was truly horrific. It was truly nauseating. Like, there were so many times where I was like, can you just get out of there? Just get out of the room. I can't. So this is about Noemi, who goes to visit her cousin because she writes and sends like a cryptic letter. So Noemi's family is like nervous for her. So Noemi goes to like figure out what's wrong. And like, because of like so many social conventions, like she doesn't just like run out of there. It's so creepy. It wouldn't end. It was so like, every time I was like, okay, we can't get any worse than this. Like, it's already awful. It got worse. It got so much worse. It was so good. It was so horrific. And like, honest to God, thrilling. It started to get really scary. So like, very good, very thrilling, well written, loved it. Number 2. And coming in at number 1, my favorite book that I read in 2021 is The Beautiful Ones by Silvia Moreno Garcia. Silvia Moreno Garcia has officially sealed her place amongst my favorite authors. Let me just set the stage for you guys, okay? This book was so good. We have Nina. It is the first ball season in Mexico City, and Nina has gone to live with her cousin, who is married to a very beautiful, very upstanding woman, and hopefully some of that will rub off on Nina because she is a telekinetic. And because she's a woman, nobody's teaching her how to use it or manage it. They're just trying to get her to stop having it. That doesn't work well for no one. Then she has a meeting with Hector, who is like a famous telekinetic person, and he does very well in shows, and he's like the nouveau riche, right? And they have like this fated meeting, and Nina falls in love. But Hector realizes that Nina's cousin is married to the love of Hector's life. So previously, Hector and Nina's female cousin had like an affair when they were younger, and like he loved her, and she needed to marry rich, and he wasn't rich, and so like it's very Gatsby-esque. So we follow a little bit of Hector like like befriending Nina to get closer to the female cousin, and then like Nina just falling in love with Hector and all the drama that happens. There were multiple times where I was like, okay, so this ends well for no one. The bad guys are gonna win, and I was getting very nervous. And it's so good. It's very soap opera. It's so amazing. It gave me all the feels, and I loved it so perfectly and so beautifully. I just can't believe how amazing this was. It was so good, you guys. So good. Perfect. Exquisite. It was everything. Everything. All right, you guys, that was my top 10 books that I read in 2021. What are the top 10 books that you read in 2021? Let me know down in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!